All right, so on 11.2 here, all right, we're working on a concept called dimensional analysis, which is a super fancy way of saying converting between units. Okay, so some of your parents may have said, "Oh yeah, we did this way, this way, and this way." I did it a different way in school too. Okay, and there's different ways that you do this at different levels depending on how many units you're converting. Here we're just converting from one step, dimensional analysis. So this calls for us to do it kind of with the ratio way we've been working on. Okay, and so I'm just going to show you a couple of examples of how I want it done. And all of the problems I put on here are like one of these two examples. Okay, so get these examples down and show the work like I showed on these examples. Okay, so Rufus the slug crawled 5 inches. How many centimeters did he crawl? So on each one of them, I'm giving you the conversion to use. Write that one down first. 1 inch, 2.54 centimeters. Okay, so Rufus went 5 inches. Okay, so we're going to see 1 to 5 is 5. Then we got to do the same on the bottom we did on the top. So we're going to do 2.54 times 5. 4 times 5 is 20. 5 times 5 is 25, and 2 is 27. 5 times 2 is 10, and 2 is 12. Okay, so 2 decimal places in the problem, so 2 in the answer. So he went 12.7, 12 and 0.70 centimeters. Okay, so this is our answer right here. All right. And then on this one, a field has a perimeter of 486 feet. What's the perimeter in yards? Okay, so here we have 3 feet equals 1 yard, but we have 486 feet. So you got to make sure you pay attention to which unit you have. Now, here, this one's confusing because I'm guessing that you don't know in your head how many times 3 goes into 486. So we need to figure out this is times what? We don't know. Okay, so how do you find times what? Well, the opposite or inverse operation of times is dividing. So we need to divide 486 by 3. All right, so this is the other type of question we have on here today. All right, so 3 times 2 is 6 and 0. So that's times 162. Now, I have seen some folks some of the time that are not careful with this and they immediately assume that's the answer without actually showing what they multiplied by. Here, that is the answer, but you got to make sure, well, what if we had been going from 2 or 3 or something over here on this side? Then you might accidentally mess up with that. But this time, it is going to be that same number because we were doing it times 1. Right. So one of those two examples is like each one of these. Okay. So you notice you got the ones where you go from 1 times something, and then the ones you have the other number on the top, then you're going to have to divide to see what you multiplied by. Okay. Like we did on the second one. Okay. So one of those two examples, follow those on the rest of the problems. Okay. And show your work like this. Start by writing the units right here, then write down the conversion that was given in the problem.